Welcome, I'm Spaghetti King. In terms of my garden, I'm not sure if there's an amazing amount to talk about. The strawberries have come in. I picked them, and I made a whole bowl of them and so on. I made a community post out of that a little bit a while back. They came in good, they taste good, so on. A lot of my other stuff is not coming in that much. I think that might be a result of the smoke I've been having in this area. You know, wildfire season, so on. That's really what it's been for the last few years. You know, it comes to summer, then you just have this mist of smoke. Last year was not like that as much, and this year we've had a lot more rain during summer than normal. So, like, this summer so far really has been 1 week of just complete rain, then 1 week of super hot, then 1 week of rain, and so on and so forth, right? Which is better than hot just the entire time, and that probably does better for the growth, honestly. But basically, there's probably not as much sun because you have a week of rain, not much sun there, a lot of water, and then you have a week of smoke. So the smoke kind of hides the sun a little bit. My lavender is coming in good. This is usually the time it blooms, so it's looking good. But yeah, my onions, my carrots, my peas, none of them are really coming in. I'm giving them good amounts of water, but so far, just not that much. They kind of stopped. So, you know, they were coming in during spring, and that's part of the reason why I planted all this stuff in spring, why I did all this stuff in spring. I usually do the bulk of my yard work and so on in spring and fall because I know that once it gets to summer, it's going to be terrible, and I'm not going to want to be outside as much as possible unless I have to. Not as bad today, more cloudy today. Again, we've had a week of terrible heat, and now we have just, possibly raining today, but very cloudy today, nice breeze and so on. I'm recording this in the morning, so, better off than terrible heat and so on. I mean, I guess I could talk about, well, one thing I did is that fern tree in the back. I mentioned possibly getting rid of that. Well, I got rid of that. I think it's better overall. As I said, possibly a heat hazard. I tried trimming it. Just beyond saving. So, one less thing to water, one less thing to do, so, that's taken care of. That was a quite laborious thing. I just trimmed the pieces up and take them to the box, that metal box thing where we take all the dead foliage and so on. Must have been like 9 trips or something like this of me just snipping up this and snipping up branches and so on. I don't know how long that took, 3 or 4 hours maybe. That's something I was thinking of talking about actually, is like, there's all this heat wave stuff going around. Like, you have people like dying from these heat waves and stuff, which I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, I know it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. But, I mean, for me, I guess, to talk about some of my strategies for dealing with the heat, doing yard work and so on. I mean, as I said, the number one thing you can do is just avoid, do all the things before summer shows up. That way you won't even need to go outside. But if you have to, because of course you do for certain things. There's a few things that I do. Like, one of the things that's a good strategy is just dampening your clothing. Like I'll spray my undershirt, for example. Spray bottles are your good friends. So, like unbutton your shirt like this or something, and just spray, your undershirt like that. And cotton absorbs moisture well. So what happens is, basically, you're creating kind of like a layer of moisture and coolness right up against your skin. And you can do the same thing with a dress shirt. One of the good things with dress shirts is they dry very quickly, at least if it's a thinner cotton, right? So first off, if the undershirt soaks through onto the cotton, your shirt here, that won't last very long. So it's kind of good for like, it can be good for like hiding like either the fact that you're wearing a wet undershirt underneath or like sweat stains potentially, because again you have this second shirt and it dries very quickly, and then this shirt actually holds moisture longer, so it holds that to your body longer. So that's something I do just all the time on the hot days, is just spritz my undershirt throughout the day. Also, like if you can, change the undershirt as frequently as you can, like when you sweat into it and so on. Like sometimes I'll change undershirts like 2 or 3 times a day, just because it's insanely hot. And every time you change it, and then you can shower or at least spritz yourself with some water or wash yourself with a cloth or something like that. Again, just keep yourself clean, keep some moisture on you. Obviously, if you have like a swimming pool or you can go to the beach or something like that, that helps. But yeah, just keep moisture on you. If you have like a neckerchief, a great move is just get that neckerchief wet and then tie that to your neck. And like if you're in the sun, not only will that protect you from the sun, but also, I think there's some science about this, but like it really kind of like regulates your body temperature, really keeping your neck cool like that. So just a wet neckerchief in the hottest days, that one really is saving grace. Hats, especially like breathable hats like linen and cotton, those are a godsend. Way too few people wear hats. I know in my videos you might think I don't wear hats. I wear a hat basically every time I leave the house. It's just my videos are all indoors, so you don't really see it. And yeah, like natural fibers and whatnot for your clothing, cotton, linen, so on. Way better than synthetics. Feel better on your skin, breathe better, so on. They absorb moisture. Moisture that you put on them from the outside, but also the moisture from your body as you're sweating and so on. So, those are my tricks. And then obviously, when you're inside, temperature control, air conditioning. I got a fan going on right here. I don't have air conditioning in my room, but I've got air conditioning kind of like in the kitchen. And yeah, temperature control where that is possible. Those are the kind of tricks that have worked for me. So I don't know. On sunscreen when you're going out for long periods of time. And honestly, full coverage, that's another thing. If you're going out in the sun for a long amount of time, you're better off with like long sleeves and full coverage than you are with short sleeves, just because that's keeping the sun off your skin. I know people are like, indoors short sleeves are great. They're also good for like chores and stuff. And if you're not outside for a long amount of time, or if you're just in the shade or whatever, then sure, short sleeves work. But long sleeves, when you're out there for a long time, are really good, because keeping the sun off your skin also keeps the heat off your skin, and that's just good for your skin in general. So, my little life hacks, I would guess, on surviving the sun, because I've been surviving it, even though honestly, I run hot a lot more than I run cold. Yeah, that's probably all that's all I'm saying for now. So, there's always more topics. Anytime I do this video, there's like more things I could talk about. But I just give you like what's on my immediate mind. So, I'll be back another time. With that said, I'm Spaghetti King. I love you all, and farewell.